to another Apex Signal strategy video. In this one, I'm going to look at the 3 in a row strategy. And the 3 in a row strategy is a strategy that's based upon 3 candlesticks in a row that are going in the same direction. You want to see a little bit of spread, meaning that, so for example, this candlestick here does not have much of a spread or a range, but this one does. So you want to see that there has been a little bit of movement in the market. And at that point, you take 3 candles in a row that are going in the same direction. You start to formulate a trading strategy around it. Now, like all things technical analysis, the higher the time frame, the more interesting the signal is, the more reliable it is. So when I look at this chart, this is the dollar Canadian dollar weekly pair, and I would point out a couple areas on this chart where we saw 3 candlesticks in a row. So like here, this bullish run here of 3 candlesticks. A lot of times you will see that, and that means that momentum is picking up in that direction. Now, in this strategy, you want to enter once you break out of 3 consecutive candlesticks. You put your stop loss at 50%, and you aim for a doubling, if you will. You aim for the same distance, and eyeballing it without measuring it is to about this level here. Now, you can see that you did have a bit of a pullback, but eventually it worked out. It works in both directions, obviously, so you could take a look at these 3 candlesticks here, this range 3 in a row. You could enter on a break below the bottom of these 3 consecutive candlesticks. You'd have your stop loss here, which never even came close to being touched. And of course, somewhere down about here, you got out. Now, again, you want to see some type of range. This is a doji here, so these 3, not overly interesting because there was a lot of indecision there. Now, like all things, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it does get you on the right side of momentum. So currently right now, if you were trading this strategy, you would recognize this as 3 negative candles in a row on the weekly chart that had a little bit of a spread to it. You would be short of this market here. Your stop loss would be here at roughly 50% or 50% of the 3 candles. And you would be aiming for a move to about there. And that should coincide nicely with the support over here. So you can see that this does show some interesting trading opportunities. Now, you need to be patient, and some people will use it like on the 15-minute chart. But I prefer to see it on longer time frames, at least daily. At that point in time, it gives you a little bit of room to move. So, for example, here at this 3-day candle bearish position, your stop loss would have been there. You'd be comfortably in. You would have been sideways for a while. But eventually you aim for about what you got there on that candle. And of course it works in the opposite direction when you do get 3 momentum-filled candles. Again, though, one thing that you have to pay attention to are these doji-like candles. They just don't count. They show indecision. You want to see a decisive market. By following the 3 in a row strategy, though, you're on the right side of momentum.